Hi everyone! So today, if you couldn't tell by my naked face, I'm going to be doing the makeup book tag. This tag is essentially assigning books to a different step in the makeup process, and I love makeup and I love books, so here we are. The first question is primer, a book that left a lasting impression on you. The primer that I'm using is Too Faced Hangover RX. This is perfect if you have dry skin, like it has literally saved my makeup game. The book that I picked for this is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. This book has just stuck with me since I read it about 5 years ago. Whenever people ask me what my favorite book is, I always just end up turning to The Book Thief. It just made me feel such a wide variety of emotions. I laughed, I cried my eyes out. And it's just truly a beautiful story about family and connecting with people and helping others, and of course, the love and power of books. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really want to reread that. The next step is foundation, favorite first book in a series. I don't really wear foundation unless it's for a special event or anything, but I do really like the Bare Minerals Tinted Moisturizer. So for a favorite first book, I chose Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson is a masterful storyteller, and The Final Empire, the first book in the Mistborn series, is no exception. It has everything that I love in a story. It has great characters, a intriguing and compelling fast-paced plot. It has a heist trope, which is always awesome, and it also it's a perfect foundation for where the series was gonna go. Oh yeah, I'm using this L'Oreal sponge. I own a beauty blender, but it's really old, and also I couldn't justify paying $20 for another beauty blender when this one is perfectly fine and gets the job done for $7. I am really shiny now. If there's anything that I've learned from beauty tutorials, is that you just blend until eternity. I put way too much on the back of my hand, so we're just gonna keep adding on. We love some good coverage. The next step is concealer. Pick a character that you wish you could get rid of. I'm using a mixture of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Vanilla, which is too light for me, so I'm mixing a little bit of Maybelline Fit Me in light. This one was a little hard because the characters that I tend to hate are usually villains, and I like being able to hate a villain. Usually a compelling villain is one you despise, so I don't want to get rid of them because they're an integral part of the story. So I kind of approached this as more characters that I wasn't supposed to hate, but I couldn't stand. So for this question, I chose Margot from the To All the Boys I Loved Before series by Jenny Han. Margot is the protagonist's older sister, and for most of the series, at least for the first book, she's away in Scotland studying. She goes to college in Scotland. But throughout the entire series, she acts so entitled and causes so much conflict for no reason, and is so stubborn and doesn't want to give people a chance. And she just irked me so much because family aspects are one of my favorite parts of novels, and she just was not supportive and not a good example of a nice older sister. I'm sure there was some good parts that I'm forgetting, but that's what I took away from the novels. The next step is powder, favorite last book in a series. And I'm using the powder that comes in this Physicians Formula bronzer contour set thing. Powder is another thing where it's really hard for me to find some that don't make my skin look dry. And surprisingly, this one does okay. In terms of favorite last book in a series, what I have always said, and what I will probably always say, is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. That's the last book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. It had everything that I could ever ask for in a completion to that series. It had this amazing battle across Manhattan. It had surprises. I saw my favorite relationships continue to develop. Characters really came into their own. I'm just a sucker for really big climactic battles. What can I say? Next is eyebrows, a book you think everyone should read. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't do my eyebrows like with makeup all the time. Honestly, very rarely, maybe just for special occasions. But for the sake of this video, I'll do it. I use this really old palette my mom had from Estee Lauder. I'm pretty sure it came in one of those gifts that you get if you spend a certain amount of money, and there's just a brown color right there. So a book that I think everyone should read is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. Wonder is about a 10-year-old boy named Augie who was born with a severe facial deformity, and for most of his life he was homeschooled, but at the beginning of the book him and his parents decide it's time for him to get out into the world and go to public school. Wonder is one of those books that makes you think about how you treat others. So through this book, it shows us the intense and severe bullying that Agi goes through, but it also shows us that even well-meaning and well-intentioned people treat Agi differently. And it's nothing they do consciously, it's just something that happens. And to see how Agi feels about it and how his family feels about it and just how they just want to be treated normal, like I said, it just makes you really reevaluate how you react to people and what you say. Wonder is also a middle grade book, so it's accessible to a variety of ages. And I think at any age, you can take away something really special about this book. And I think it's one of those books that makes you want to be a better human. So why shouldn't everybody read that? The next step is eyeshadow. Pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. I don't really wear eyeshadow on a day-to-day basis, so I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is my favorite everyday eyeshadow palette. It has everything that you would ever need. I'm gonna kind of reinterpret this question and just talk about a book cover that I love. And for that, I chose Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I just love the color scheme of like black, white, gray, and the pop of red. It's my aesthetic. I love it. I also love the Russian inspired elements of it. The cover just has such a magical feeling around it. I don't know how to describe it. That is one of the few books where I genuinely bought it because of the cover. I did know a little bit about it. I knew it was a fantasy, so I was a little bit interested in it, but truly I just wanted to have that book on my shelf. If you're curious, for this look I used salted caramel in my crease, and I'm just going over the lid with marzipan. Marzipan is my favorite color in this palette. It's such a beautiful shade and it works with so many looks. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of salted caramel underneath my eye to tie everything together. Everything that I say here I've just learned from years and years of watching beauty gurus and practicing at home. Oh my god, my leg is asleep now. Ooh, gotta reposition. Fun fact, I used to hate makeup, or at least the idea of makeup, because I was insistent that I was a tomboy. But then I decided that one day I will want to wear makeup to like a fancy party or something, and I want to know how to be able to do it. And so I just practiced at night at home and just washed it off every night, and I grew a love for makeup. I still don't wear it often because, to be honest, I can't be bothered to wake up earlier than I have to. Next is eyeliner. Pick a dark and mysterious book. The eyeliner that I'm using is from Physicians Formula. It's the Eye Booster pen. I love the tip on this pen. It makes it so easy to do a winged liner, but the opacity and the staying power of this pen is very inconsistent. Some days it's beautiful and some days I can barely tell it's there anymore. It just makes it so easy to apply winged eyeliner that I just deal with it. This is gonna be really hard to talk while applying eyeliner. Okay, we're gonna try. The book that I chose that is dark and mysterious is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Oh shoot, I already messed up. Essentially, in the world that this book takes place in, every few years, a man called the Dragon takes a young girl from this village and no one knows what happens to her or what he does with her. There's just so much mystery around the dragon that I thought this was very fitting. I'm sorry, I can't talk while doing eyeliner. We're just gonna fast forward through this. That's probably as even as I'm gonna get them to be, so we're just gonna quit while we're ahead. Next is mascara, and pick a long book. I forgot to bring my eyelash curler, so I'm sorry if the camera angle changed. I may or may not have kicked the tripod. The longest book that I own is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I don't really know how much more to elaborate on that. It was a very good book. Oh yeah, I'm using mascara from Essence. It's the Lash Princess False Lash Effect. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the longest book I own is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, but I think City of Heavenly Fire or Lady Midnight are the next longest. Right now I own the mass market paperback of Mistborn, so it's fairly short, but I have ordered the UK version online and those are huge, so those are probably gonna end up surpassing dear old Harry Potter. Does anybody else do this where they have to totally like change the angle of the wand when they're going to the other eye? Like I can't just go here and here. I'm gonna get it all over my eyelid. I already get it all over my eyelid. So often I ruin my eyeshadow and my eyeliner because the stupid mascara gets everywhere. Next is blush. Pick a book with a cringy romance in it. There was no bronzer on this list, and I always do bronzer, but I guess for the sake of not creating another question, I'm just gonna use a very peachy blush. I'm using this color in this e.l.f. blush palette. So yeah, a cringy romance. I don't think I read a book with that cringy of a romance, at least not one that sticks out to me. I think I'd have to go with the Arc of Scythe series by Neal Shusterman. That romance is not necessarily cringy, but it's not very well done. It's very insta-lovey, and I just wasn't that invested in the romantic aspect of their relationship. The series is great though, I still highly recommend it, but that is definitely its weakest point. Then it's highlighter, a book that brightens your day. The highlighter that I'm using is this Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I also can't find the brush that I normally use for highlighter, so I'm just gonna go with this e.l.f. stipple brush and hope it works out. Oh yeah, a book that brightens my day. Recently, a book that just made me smile so much was Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. It was such a cute contemporary read, and I have a feeling that's gonna be one of those books where if I'm in a reading slump or if I just want to get into the summer mood, I'm gonna pick it up because it's just full of happiness and sunshine. And the last step is lipstick, your favorite book kiss. My favorite fictional couple of all time is Percy and Annabeth from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series and the rest of Rick Riordan's books. And my favorite book kiss is the scene at the end of The Last Olympian. It was the best underwater kiss of all time. Need I say more? I got so hyped about Percy, but I forgot about the lipstick. This is my holy grail lipstick shade. It's the perfect color for when I don't really want to go that wild, but I need something on my lips. And yeah, it's just real pretty. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me put on my makeup and talk about books. And I'll see you next time. Bye!